All right, Nate, with all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, I think it's absolutely nuts. I think it's time to find a new planet.
Designed for the military. The Arachnid-class tank has an operating weight of 22 tons, steel and uranium armor plates, infrared radiometer optics, autonomous navigation system, and is powered by a thorium fuel cell. They exhibit true AI behavior. They can learn, adapt and evolve. Expect to engage thousands of ground targets testing your perimeter, looking for weaknesses in your defenses. You must consider military battlefield tactics when setting up your sentry weapons. Consider overlapping fields of fire, line of sight, flanking positions, sentry formations. Use the terrain to your advantage. You must create a robot killing field if you are going to survive.
All right, Nate, we're back with some artificial extinction, first-person sentry tower defense type game. I've never played a game exactly like this. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So basically, humans have built AI and they became too smart for their own good and kind of screwed us. So,
yeah, classic story.
Classic story. So humanity, the whole thing is a guy, is going out to some planet to try to find and inhabit. And then within basically 9 days, you bring back your family.
Yeah, they're on the way there. So you've got 9 days to basically set up, an encampment, a place for your family to live that's safe. Because let's get this planet that we're landing on is anything but safe. There are robots that are everywhere, and they start attacking basically as soon as you boots hit the ground on this one.
So your little Oracle buddy, he does do lots of things. He actually repairs all the turrets, because this entire time you are getting waves of these robots sent at you, and you can't repair everything by yourself. You do have the ability to do that, thank goodness. But your little robot buddy, he's there to heal you and your turret.
Yeah, and you know what? He isn't the only thing you got helping you out there. You do have a weapon, and it's a sniper rifle type weapon. And the reason I say it like that is because honestly, there's no feel to this gun in this game. Like it basically launches explosive rounds, and when it hits the target, it makes a rather large explosion. But when I press my mouse button to fire that weapon, there's just no weight to the gun, and I just kind of felt like for the damage I'm doing, I just don't feel like I'm getting any kind of reverb back as the player. Especially in a first-person shooter, you kind of feel like the gun aspect would be maybe something that that would shine, especially since it's one of the few things you can actually use in the game.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like you do unlock a couple more weapons, but like you said, when you feel or want to shoot a heavy sniper, you want to feel it, right?
Yeah.
You really want that feel. But I don't know. The game itself, the graphics are mediocre. It has some nice aspects. Like I find the environment, when you're looking out for the distance, it looks pretty decent.
Yeah. From a distance, the environment, the landscape, it's beautiful, actually. I mean, for what it is, for being kind of a desolate planet. I was impressed because, you get that inside your cockpit look when you're first flying in and when you're in between levels. And there's a little bit of detail there. It's nothing major, but again, it's all more than passable, I think, for what this game is and what you're getting. I thought the mechs and all the enemies in this game were pretty good as far as the detail in them. And you could see them from pretty far away, and I thought they were probably the hardest thing to deal with in this game.
Yeah, I agree. And there's not a ton of variety in the monsters, or the robots. As you progress, they kind of shove a couple more at you, but mostly just different colored versions, or just a slightly different variant of the drone. So, there's not a lot of depth in that. But this game is chaotic. If you start off, you're probably
chaos is the right word for sure.
They just out of nowhere, they'll just be like, "Oh, your robot's like, oh, you got." Incoming from east is anti-air units or whatever.
Yep.
So it's just it gets really crazy.
Yeah, the way they kind of set it up is that when you land, the first thing you have to do is find fuel for your ship, because during the entire time of the level, your ship is hovering above you, and you need to keep constantly fueling the ship and get enough fuel to then go on to the next place that you're also going to check out. So there's 3 major resources in this game that you have to collect. One of them being fuel, then there's energy for that it basically requires to build and use your sentries and turrets, and then there is metal, which helps you, steel, which is building, and You can craft ammo and all those kinds of things. So those are your 3 majors, and you have to put down basically like extractors that, as they sit, you have to protect those, and that's essentially what the robots are coming to destroy. Is they want you to destroy what you're collecting plus yourself. So the idea is to set up your turrets in a way that you can defend all that, but at the same time, depending on how you set up your turrets, really depends on how the robots and the enemy AI is actually going to attack you. They will change their attack plan in the middle of the battle, so you're always moving and running around, and that's kind of where, like you said, the chaos really comes into play here. And then, you know, even just outside of the first level, you start getting into the air units, so now you got ground units and air units. It was a lot to take in at first, and let me tell you, I got swarmed a couple times right off the hop, and I found it kind of difficult at first to really advance in this game, because it isn't the longest game in the world, but at the same time, they make it difficult enough that these levels aren't 10 minutes and you're done. You know, you're 20, 25, 30 minutes before, you know, you're moving on to the next level, the next area. So when you die and you lose it all, it can get really frustrating.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
Dude, it is frustrating. And you only have the ability to heal once per map. And it's not full health. You only have 20 health. So you have to be very wary of where you are standing, because if you have turrets around you, the robots won't target you. But if you're kind of all alone or isolate yourself a little bit, then you're gonna get targeted and destroyed pretty quick.
Yeah, you know, this game is so unforgiving in that sense. But again, I think we both had a lot of fun playing this at the same time. And again, it's not overly complicated. We're not dealing with, you know, 20 different types of sentry turrets. You know, we have our main ones, and you learn what works for what and how to set it up. It really, the whole idea behind this game is to actually just kind of figure out the strategy you want to use when you're setting up your turrets, and then you kind of learn how the robots and the people that are attacking you kind of change their strategies as the map goes on. So for me, it's kind of like that, you know, that aspect of the game you don't necessarily see right from the get-go. That is what's actually keeping me in it, because let me tell you, it's difficult enough that other games I would have just dropped and walked away at this point. But there's a challenging aspect of it that really makes me want to come back in and, you know, defeat those robots and make sure that in 9 days I got a safe place for my family to land. And that's kind of where I'm at with this one, man. I'm having a good time, but man, it's been really difficult too.
I'm right there with you, dude.
No.
All right, Cory, so like you said, dude, we've had a pretty good time with this game.
Yeah.
So what are you going to score Artificial Extinction?
Well, for a game that I've definitely never been really exposed to, this type of gameplay, this first-person, you know, tower sentry style game, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the graphics were good. The gameplay is pretty solid, other than a few things with the gun mechanics. But other than that, I had a lot of fun blowing up robots. I'm going to give this one 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, nice, dude. I'm pretty close to you. I had a good time with the game. There is some pretty funny parts in between the missions when you're talking to your find out about how humanity kind of fell apart. So all in all, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to give it a 7, man.
Right on.
They've patched the exploit.
Artificial Extinction is a first-person turret defense game that is challenging and fun, but the environments and the enemy variety was lacking a little bit.
A safe place on the planet. Day 1 complete. 8 more days to go. Ready, human?
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.